Something powerful is sleeping inside you right now. Not a metaphor, not a feeling. A real, dormant force that every great spiritual tradition in human history has pointed to. Jesus pointed to it. So did the Buddha. So did the ancient Egyptian priests, the Sufi mystics, the Vedic sages. They all said the same thing in different languages. They all said, "You are more than you think you are." So why do you still feel so small? That is the question. This changes everything. For thousands of years, certain truths were kept inside sacred circles, hidden in temples, locked behind initiations, not because the people were unworthy, but because those who controlled knowledge understood something dangerous, that a human being who knows their true nature cannot be controlled, cannot be made to beg, cannot be made to fear, and a person who does not fear is impossible to rule. So the keys were hidden, the doors were sealed, and you were handed a story about yourself that kept you permanently small. Today, those doors open. There are 7 keys. Each one is not a technique. Each one is a remembering. Because the power you are looking for is not something you need to acquire. It is something you have forgotten. And the moment you remember, everything shifts. The first key is this: you are not your body. This sounds simple. You have probably heard it before, but hearing it and knowing it are 2 completely different things. Your body is something you have. It is not something you are. Think about that for a moment. You say, my body, my mind, my thoughts. If those things belong to you, then who is the one doing the owning? Who is the one watching? There is a presence behind your thoughts, a witnessing consciousness that observes everything. Your emotions, your memories, your fears, without being touched by any of them. Dr. Joe Dispenza, a neuroscientist and researcher who has studied thousands of people in states of deep meditation, calls this the observer, the part of you that exists beyond the body's chemistry, beyond the nervous system's noise. When Jesus said the kingdom of heaven is within you, he was not speaking poetically. He was pointing directly at this witnessing presence, the silent self that has no name, no age, no limit. That is the first key. You are the watcher, not the watched. The second key is that your thoughts are not reality. They are rehearsals. Most people live as though their inner narrative is a live broadcast of truth. Every anxious thought becomes a prophecy. Every fearful story becomes a prison wall. But neuroscience has confirmed what mystics always knew. Your brain cannot tell the difference between something you vividly imagine and something that is actually happening. Dr. Tara Swart, a neuroscientist and author who has worked extensively on neuroplasticity and manifestation, explains that the brain filters reality through dominant mental patterns. Whatever you think most consistently, your brain will find evidence for in the world around you. This is not mysticism. This is the structure of consciousness itself. Jesus understood this at a level most teachers never reach. Every miracle he performed was preceded by absolute certainty. Not hope, not prayer, certainty. He did not ask if the blind man could see. He declared it. He did not wonder if Lazarus would rise. He commanded it. The second key is learning to speak to reality from a place of knowing, not asking. Your thoughts are not passengers in your life. They are the architects. What are you building right now? The third key is silence, not quiet. Silence. There is a difference. Quiet is the absence of noise. Silence is the presence of something much larger than noise. Every major spiritual tradition, Christian mysticism, Sufism, Zen Buddhism, the ancient mystery schools of Egypt, all of them placed silence at the center of transformation, not as a practice, as a portal. When the mystic Meister Eckhart wrote about the ground of the soul, he described a place so deep within a human being that even God speaks there in silence. Modern contemplative researchers at institutions like Harvard Medical School, including Dr. Herbert Benson, have documented what happens to the body and brain during deep states of meditative silence. The nervous system shifts. Stress hormones drop dramatically. Brain wave patterns change from the frantic beta state of ordinary thinking into the slower, more expansive alpha and theta states where insight, creativity, and what many describe as direct spiritual experience become possible. Jesus spent 40 days in silence before his ministry began. The Buddha sat in silence beneath a tree until the answers came. The pattern is not a coincidence. Silence is the third key, because it is only in silence that you can hear what has always been speaking to you. You have been so surrounded by noise, notifications, obligations, other people's opinions, that you have drowned out the one voice that actually knows who you are. Go quiet. The answers are already waiting. The fourth key is that suffering is a teacher, not a punishment. This one will change how you see your entire past. Every difficult thing that has ever happened to you was not evidence that you are unlucky or forgotten or cursed. It was curriculum. The soul does not grow in comfort. It grows in contrast. Every wound you have carried contains a wisdom that the unwounded cannot access. This is why the most powerful spiritual teachers throughout history were not people who lived perfect lives. They were people who descended into darkness and came back with light. Joseph was thrown into a pit by his brothers and rose to save a nation. Jesus was crucified and became a symbol of resurrection for billions. The path down is always the path through. The fourth key is not to escape your pain, but to mine it. To ask, not why is this happening to me, but what is this trying to show me? When you shift that question, everything changes. Pain stops being a dead end and becomes a doorway. What has your suffering been trying to teach you? The fifth key is that love is not an emotion. It is a frequency. Modern physics now understands that everything in the universe is vibrating. Every atom, every cell, every thought. And different states of consciousness vibrate at measurably different frequencies. Dr. David Hawkins, a psychiatrist and researcher who spent decades mapping human consciousness, documented through extensive clinical work that states like shame, fear, and anger vibrate at the lowest measurable frequencies, while states like love, joy, and peace vibrate at the highest. This is not abstract philosophy. This has physiological consequences. Studies on heart coherence at the HeartMath Institute show that when a person sustains a genuine state of love and gratitude, their heart rhythm changes, their immune function improves, and their capacity to affect the world around them increases measurably. When Jesus said, "Love your enemies," he was not giving a moral instruction. He was giving a power instruction. He was saying, do not let their low frequency pull you down into it. Stay in the high frequency and you become untouchable. Love was not Jesus's weakness. It was his weapon. The fifth key is to understand that love is a state of being you can choose, consciously, in any moment. And that state unlocks something in reality that fear and anger can never reach. The sixth key is that you were made to create, not to consume. You were not placed on this earth to scroll through other people's lives. You were not born to sit in rows and absorb instructions. You were wired, at the deepest level of your biology, for creation. Genesis does not begin with a human being obeying. It begins with a divine being creating. And if you are made in that image, then your most natural state is not receiving. It is generating, speaking, building, making something from nothing. Every time you create, truly create, from inspiration rather than obligation, you are participating in the same force that made the universe. This is not arrogance, it is accuracy. The sixth key is to stop waiting for permission. Stop waiting for the right moment, the right resources, the right audience. Begin. Because the act of beginning is itself an act of divine alignment. The universe does not respond to intentions. It responds to movement. What have you been waiting for permission to create? The seventh key is the one that contains all the others. You are not separate from the source of all things. This is the teaching that every great tradition has pointed to. and the one that institutions of power have most consistently tried to suppress. Because a person who knows their unity with the divine source does not need an intermediary, does not need to be told they are broken, does not need to be saved from the outside. They are already whole. They are already connected. They are already home. The mystics call it union. The quantum physicists call it non-locality. The Vedantic tradition calls it Advaita, non-duality. Jesus called it oneness with the Father. Whatever name you give it, the experience is the same. A direct knowing that the life moving through you is the same life moving through everything. That you are not a visitor to this universe. You are an expression of it. Temporary in form, eternal in essence. You have spent so long searching for something outside yourself. In books, in teachers, in rituals, in religions. And all of that searching has its place. But at some point, every seeker discovers the same thing. That what they were looking for was never lost. It was only hidden beneath the noise, beneath the fear, beneath the story of smallness they inherited from a world that had forgotten its own greatness. These 7 keys are not new. They are ancient. They have been spoken in every language. They have been written on temple walls and whispered in desert caves and encoded in sacred texts that have survived centuries of suppression.